Hey everybody, my name is Phil Kohler, and I am here with my friend and coworker, both Danielle.
Both.
Danielle Rendu. Did I do it?
Riendo. I
Rien-
tell people it's like Nintendo.
Is it?
That helps sometimes. It's kind of
I'm
like
gonna
Nintendo,
forget that
but
immediately.
Riendo. Kind of, the end.
We're checking out a little bit of Republique Remastered. Danielle, you reviewed the first two episodes of this back when it
Yes.
was on the iPad. I am actually playing it and reviewing the third episode, although at the moment I am coming up on the end of episode 2. That's where we're
Okay.
at right now. So this
You're
may
about
be
to
familiar.
learn so much.
Well, hopefully we won't spoil too much on here, although I will say this is a very narrative-heavy game. If anybody's watching and is worried about getting anything spoiled, now might be... like I said, we're near the end of the second episode, so if you haven't played up that far, you might get some spoilers. But I guess to explain quickly what this game is, you see this is the main character, Hope, right here. She is living in this weird sort of...
Like a bizarre society, but it's very repressive and it's potentially underground.
Yeah, we
it's a
don't really
small world.
know.
It's a small world that's sort of cut off from the rest of the world.
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah, and basically as the game starts, she escapes from jail, and you are leading her around and trying to get her to safety. But
You sort of
the thing that's
control the
interesting,
video cameras.
Yeah, so the thing that's
which is
interesting-
sort of the main conceit.
this is a PC version, so it's a little bit weird because it gets rid of part of what was so interesting about the iOS version is that you are playing on a phone or an iPad, and the game treats you like you are on a phone and like she's talking to you through a phone all the time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. But see, you're not controlling Hope directly. You're telling her where to go. You're giving her commands, but you don't actually fully control her. What you do control is electronics, and specifically cameras. So I just paused the game here. This is your kind of like pause super electronics vision. And I can see any cameras and sort of zap into them. These owls have cameras built into them, so I can zap into these little
course.
owl busts.
Yeah, I kind of liked this about the game. I sort of liked the indirect control and the whole idea of this is the surveillance state, and you are hacking into all the sort of apparatus of
Yeah.
the surveillance state, and that's exactly how you're playing the game, which was,
Yes.
super cool on a phone or an iPad. Is it still cool on a PC?
It's cool. It definitely, like I said, some of the sort of conceit of it seems to be kind of gone now.
Sure.
But let's start exploring here. So so we were just at the librarian's office and discovered some stuff there.
Ooh.
And now we're going to I don't know where we're going now. We're just wandering.
I wandered a bit here as well. I also tried to find all the books. The sort of the little collectibles in this game
There's
are
a
kind of part of
lot
the fun.
collectibles, and
Yeah.
part of the thing too is collecting them actually gets you points that you can then use to upgrade your powers, your hacking powers, which is a little silly, but
Yeah.
it works. It makes
Yeah.
it gives you a reason to collect them, on top of the fact that collecting them also gives you more information about this
P0 here.
strange world that you're in. So I just got some P0, which I believe is mace, basically.
Yeah.
So I can
More or less.
if a guard comes at me, I can spray that at them.
So the actual sort of gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay, when there are guards around, is kind of funny. It's a stealth game, basically, when there are actually other people around. Otherwise, it's almost an adventure game. Sort of in the moment-to-moment. There are puzzles, there's collectibles, you're not really directly controlling anything. But when there are guards around, it becomes a stealth game. And the way the guards look is really interesting. I don't know if you had any specific thoughts about this, but it's sort of the way they walk around. They almost kind of stalk around. They have these weird necks, and they're kind of funky looking guys.
Yeah,
I
mean,
like this.
we'll run into some pretty quick here. In fact, there's one over here. You can kind of
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I've got the
there's a dude
ability
right
to see
there.
them through the X-ray ability, which allows me to kind of see them a little bit through walls.
See how they're always kind of craning their necks? That always disturbed me a little
Well,
bit in this game.
they're just trying to see everything, right?
That's true. It's all thematically consistent in this game.
So I'm actually going to hop down here, and I'm a little bit worried. Okay, so I also have this ability. So I have a limited amount of battery here, but you can recharge it through various methods. I also have this ability that takes one battery away, which will tell me the path that this guard is going to take.
Oh, very nice.
So that's certainly...
I didn't use that one very often.
I use it constantly, but I'm like obsessed with like I just don't want to get caught.
Yeah,
because
I got caught a lot.
It doesn't. There's not a lot of punishment for it. It's just time.
Exactly.
It just puts you in a room, sort of in a confinement room, and then you get to break out of it. You have to find the guard who caught you and steal your stuff back if you want your stuff.
Yeah.
Which I do.
You always want your stuff.
I want all the
stuff. is the point in this game. You want all the cool
stuff.
Stuff
is the point in life, if you think about it.
See what I mean about the way the guy's walking? Just craning his neck oddly.
Yeah, he's just trying to see. He wants to see everything.
Yeah, he's like, what is this? I'm looking down. Always looking down, these guys. Very concerned. I'm very concerned for their posture. I'm concerned for their well-being, their skeletons. You know, I'm just...
This guy actually has a special vest on, which means I've got a taser here. My taser will not affect him.
Oh yes, they were new in episode 2, actually.
Yes.
Those enemies did not appear in the first episode, and I think they sort of added them in as an additional challenge factor, sort of, for the second episode.
Yeah, so that's one of the interesting things about this. Oh my gosh, there's another guy right here. And I have not seen him before, which means I need to pickpocket him.
And he's a Kickstarter backer. Yeah.
Is that what these are? Are they all Kickstarter backers?
All those portraits are Kickstarter backers from Wonderful. Camouflage's Kickstarter campaign to make this game. Which is kind of great.
One of the things that is interesting is that they are adding stuff. You know, each episode is not just the same stuff they've already done, which is kind of cool. So this is a thing that means there's something to examine here. So let's take a look. Let's see what we find out.
Ooh.
Make a wish. But don't tell me what it is, or it won't come true.
I wish the headmaster was dead.
Welp.
Oh.
Don't talk like that.
Headmaster is the person in charge of the whole thing.
Of this entire world.
I've never seen the rain before.
Sager wasn't talking about the rain. He was talking about the truth.
I don't care about the truth.
Wow, Hope.
I just want to know what rain feels like.
Hope is all about the rain.
That was a very Disney princess-esque line.
It really was. She should have been singing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think.
So the headmaster is also the overseer, is the person who's running this whole operation, basically. And as you progress, and particularly as you collect bits of information like that, we are learning more and more about him. And I'm basically just jumping between these cameras here because I haven't looked around this area, and I just want to see if there's anything else for me to get. But it looks like that was it. So now
Did you ever watch The Prisoner, the 1960s TV series?
Oh, I have watched a little bit of it.
Okay. I got a strong Prisoner vibe from this entire game.
I can totally see that.
Hugely.
100%, I can see that.
And the more I'm looking at this again, I'm sort of like, oh, wow, yeah, this entire vibe. You know, sort of having the overseer, having this cut-off weird little world with these internal rules that you don't quite understand. Even sort of the color scheme. It's very, you know, 60s library kind of going on.
I'm being a little bit
taking some risks
dangerous here. Yeah, I'm being risky, but
Hope also wears a hoodie.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. A lot of the cool lady protagonists wear hoodies.
A lot of the cool men No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they don't. Maybe the guys wearing hoodies aren't that cool. Maybe.
I guess you can kind of call, like, some of the cape stuff in early Assassin's Creed games a hoodie, sort of.
I'm hoping he won't come back.
Yeah.
What I can actually do
Hopefully
I can lock this door, and then he's not going to come back. And then I can see this guy's...
Let him stew. So I think a good stealth game is basically the hardest kind of game to make.
Yeah.
Out of everything.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's just so hard to make this fun and make this believable. And striking a balance is insanely difficult. And I think they actually did a pretty good job in this game.
They do. I think you're right. Um,
Sounds good.
what I think they did smart is, and this is Camouflage is the name of the studio. Studio started by Ryan Payton, who is particularly known for working on some of the Metal Gear Solid games. I get a lot of a Metal Gear Solid
4 in particular. Yeah.
I get a lot of a Metal Gear Solid 1 vibe from this game.
Sure.
And
sure.
I feel like they've very strongly taken influence from that. And that's one of the few games as well where, I feel like they get the stealth really right and they make it very approachable, very fun, no matter who you are. Let's see, I pickpocketed this guard, and he has a video game disc on him.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Let's see what video game we got.
Good luck surviving in this meditative space strategy game, which takes basic RTS building mechanics and wraps it together with a pleasing minimalistic visual design. Oh, and good luck pronouncing its title. If I had access to Wikipedia, I could have saved myself from asking a fellow Persrag and Swedish native what REM capsule means. He said it means space capsule. He then reported me immediately to Derringer.
Great, perfect. Derringer's the head of
Excellent.
security. So you can pickpocket these guards, and all of them are carrying these game discs. That voice there was Cooper, who's this mysterious character inside the Republic who is giving us help for some reason that is not entirely clear at the moment.
Yeah, he's kind of the hacker general,
Yeah.
almost. He gives you all of your info, all of your intel.
And he's
And
obsessed
he has
with
quite a
video
personality,
games.
too. Yeah, he's a big gamer.
This part's really weird, actually. It's kind of goofy, and I guess it's like sort of Camouflage's way at giving nods to the games that they like, particularly the other indie games that they're fans of, which is cool. But it's definitely a little bit goofy.
It is, especially 'cause they're on diskettes, and they're all, at least in the iPad version, whenever you clicked on one of those, you could actually go right to the iOS store
Interesting.
and buy whatever game it was that you're kind of looking at. So.
Yeah, you could not do that here, but
Oh, my eyes.
so that guy was coming after me, so I got him with my mace. And
Yeah.
I think the place where it wants me to go is right over here, so we're going to do that. Oh, is there a button here? Oh, and I got a book.
Oh, yes.
Let's see what book I got.
remember this.
So you can pick up books, and these are basically banned books.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Ayn Rand.
Rand is
Perfect.
banned, apparently.
She
Perfect.
dramatized the struggle for individualism against leeches. In reality, she abandoned such notions the minute they interfered with her own desires.
Okay.
They
Ugh,
were socialist
hypocrite.
figments, in any case, librarian, not the true power structures that shape our lives. I'm afraid the fountainhead cannot flow, stopped up with so much hypocrisy.
What a line. I love that.
Ooh, something here, too. Newspaper.
Ooh.
Zager's silence deafening. The notorious terrorist is quiet, scheming. The arrival is just weeks away, and public enemy number 1 has gone radio silent. If the headmaster, or overseer, or whatever name he goes by these days, plans to take a bow on the world stage, he can't have a phantom hiding in the wings ready to sabotage his big production. I shouldn't complain. It's going to be one hell of a show.
So normally on an overview video, I wouldn't be necessarily stopping to look at all of this side stuff.
Sure.
But the
Yeah.
thing with Republic is this really is like such a key part of the experience, and picking up everything to me feels so important in this game because that is how you are getting the full story.
Yeah.
There are cutscenes and stuff, and there are like narrative events that happen as you go, but so much of what's going on in this game is happening through stuff like picking up the newspapers, checking out other stuff in the
Books and
environment.
the games, and yeah, and actually having it be part of the gameplay as well with the pickpocketing is
Yeah.
clever.
I've
as
picked
well,
up
I
all these
think.
cassettes, and I can't.
If you
I need to find a cassette player.
Perhaps
Oh,
you
that's
can know
right.
what is on it.
So presumably
I
these will
remember
have more
seeing an old
information as well.
boombox with-
They do.
But for now,
I spent hours actually just sort of scouring the world, even after I, kind of knew my objectives were complete and it was time to move on. I was like, no, I need to go find the rest of the books and the newspapers. And one of the cool things, sorry, I was going to mention with the newspapers are
Yeah.
that the person, the reporter, sort of says the headline, and then they actually talk a little bit about, how they are the media sort of shaping the message a little bit. She has little asides like, haha, what a headline, or
you get
this
you get
will
a
be
whole
great story.
You get a sense of the different characters who are important in this world through this stuff. Like, as you said, in the newspapers, that reporter is a recurring character who you constantly get more and more information about how she's manipulating the stories or how she's getting people to say stuff that they didn't mean and all of that. Let's see this thing.
Kind of fun.
But Senior
Look at that.
Octavo,
Shh, un momento. Go ahead, 933W.
you can't stay here.
I'm too old to be tilting at windmills.
But you don't know what the headmaster is capable
Octavo
of.
here is the librarian.
I know all too well. History abounds with men like the Overseer.
He will kill you, recalibrate you.
Were I 30 years younger, things would be different. I would hew to the line that Zager has drawn. But today, I am merely an old academic with failing eyesight. I doubt I can even see the line.
I'll come back for you. For all of you.
Why, 933W, I find your compassion extraordinary.
Call me weak. I'm not a number anymore.
The librarian is this really interesting older guy who is brought to this weird separatist nation, and he basically ends up being super against everything that's going on as soon as they start burning books. He's like, wait a second,
Yeah.
maybe this is bad. And then the other character, Weep, there, I actually don't know that much about. I believe it's Hope's love interest, maybe?
Potentially. I don't think we know at this point yet, but...
This is
And,
no mere piece
oh.
of paper.
Oh, more stuff.
It is an
I'll let the
escape
story go.
Escape plan.
A blueprint for a key, a master key, capable of unlocking any number of doors inside this facility. But that is not all. In the garden, there is a gate to the outside world, a gate to freedom. This key, I am told, will unlock that gate.
This may come in handy.
Yes, it will. I was going to say the newspaper also mentioned Zager. Zager?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zager, who's a big revolutionary in this world.
A blueprint of the Overseer's
Use
master
some
key.
emoticons for us.
The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
So I actually have already been to the arc. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Wait.
Uh-oh, he's unmaced. He's recovered. He had a little, sample eye wash right there in his pocket.
Please don't come over here. I'm nothing this way, buddy.
I'm just reading a book in a library, reading a book. It's a good book. It's
They don't want you to
Fountainhead.
read the books here, is the problem.
You're right. I mean, it's not the Fountainhead. It's anything but the Fountainhead is what I'm reading.
So I actually went to the archives earlier than I was supposed to,
Ooh.
which is
And
fine.
you saw the 3D printer then. Actually, this puzzle that's coming up is the only one that annoyed me so much that the game kind of let me bypass it.
the laser one?
No, it actually has to do with the key itself.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I went to the archives already, and there's a whole bunch of lasers, and you need
Oh,
to
yes.
like move through the archives by shutting down certain lasers, and then when you shut down some, other ones turn on, and it's like a whole silly little
Yeah,
puzzle.
big traversal puzzle, basically.
But I got through that pretty easily, and then realized that I wasn't supposed to be in the archives yet.
Yeah. I actually think they'll do it differently on PC, because this was actually one of the very few puzzles coming up that you needed to use the gyroscope on the iPad to
Gross.
manipulate things, so I'm assuming they'll do
That
things
sounds
differently.
awful.
It was really annoying.
Uh-oh.
But, a minor thing,
Sometimes
otherwise.
the camera angles aren't perfect, and you have to kind of hop between stuff to get to where you want.
Yeah. Surveillance state has its glitches. It's all part of the commentary.
Let's see. Hopefully there's no one up here.
Right, and you've already
Good.
you've already gone through this stuff, it looks like.
Yeah. There was a guy here who had tased, and now he's gone.
Also of note, the music in the background is kind of amazing.
It's really good. It's
yeah.
really good throughout. Really sets the mood perfectly.
Yeah.
All right, so all the lasers are already off because I solved this puzzle, but normally when you come in here the first time, there's lasers all over the place, and you have to kind of move through carefully, turning stuff on and off, hopping between cameras to do so.
Yeah, naturally, whenever you trip one of the lasers, it makes the guards very angry, agitated, calls them over, and
The nice thing is, if
it's
you
a
don't
problem.
trip any of them, there's no guards here at all.
yeah, it's
At
pretty
least
cool.
at the moment.
Thanks, camouflage.
Yeah, I appreciate that at least.
Another cool thing about using the cameras as sort of the method of controlling the character or influencing the character is that the camera angles are very dramatic and moody. It's actually really interesting to look at, always.
The blueprint.
So is this the...
This is the puzzle right here. This puzzle rather annoyed me.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
you're using WASD instead of the gyroscope, then. That's a bit better.
What am I...
So you're trying to make that look like a key.
Huh. Oh.
Yeah, you're
There we go.
kind of getting there. Yeah.
Just wait, what do I... Oh, I see.
Yes, this is
Oh, God.
3D spatial manipulation, 3D printer stuff. This was certainly more annoying with the gyroscope.
Yeah, I can't even... I couldn't do
This
it.
took like 20 minutes. I was in some really strange positions trying to get this correct. But I think the developers knew it, and they actually had like a little button that was like, just do it. There was like a basically easy button for this in the old version. Now this definitely looks like a butterfly wings and a needle at this point.
Yeah, this doesn't really look like a key thus far.
It's very Bioshock looking key. Needle.
There's some Bioshock going on in this game as well.
Yes, there certainly is.
Obviously with the weird society on the fringe.
And the audio
And,
logs.
yeah,
and the,
learning everything through audio logs.
and the theatricality of it as well. I went back.
Yeah,
and
I would
actually
even
played
say
Bioshock
I would even
recently.
say like the overseer as a character is certainly reminiscent of Andrew Ryan from Bioshock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Presumably going to a very different place by the end of this game. Although at this point they're doing it episodic. Obviously, the last two parts are not out, so who knows?
Oh, that's right. This could just be another iteration of Bioshock Infinite's infinite possibilities.
It's almost certain that that's the case. What am I doing?
Yeah, I actually went back and played the original Bioshock.
Oh yeah,
recently.
here's the solve button.
Yep.
Eventually, they're just like, do you just...
Eventually, I was like, okay, I get where you're going for here. It's cool.
It's
I don't spend a lot of time in
something.
Maya, so you know.
Oh, I almost got it.
Yep, you're not far. And we just just clicking it in. Oh my god, I think you got it.
Is this how 3D printers work?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
I think you designed. This is sort of more how like Maya works or any like AutoCAD software works. You make it in 3D and then you just tell the printer to
This key's
do it.
identical to the one the headmaster used in his office.
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear what Cooper has to
Cooper's
say.
Girl
calling.
has the key. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office.
I feel like if we get to the surface, if we escape in the second episode, that's gonna bode poorly for the third, fourth, and fifth episodes. So,
Yes.
as we said, this is out on iOS originally. Now out on there's nice posters all over too that are pretty cool.
Yeah, I love those posters.
This is the PC version remastered. It does look a lot nicer. You know, there's still moments you can kind of tell, like when Hope gets up close to the camera, it's like, okay, that's not a next-gen
fairly
video game
simple
model.
textures. Yeah, certainly.
But it's still a nice-looking game and looks much nicer than it did on iOS. And the other thing about Remastered that's cool is it comes with the first 3 episodes, which are all that have been released so
pretty
far. I believe the 4th is on its way relatively quickly, and then there's just one more to go, and we're done.
The whole story. We'll know all about Hope and
I gotta
whether
say,
or not she has a prayer.
I gotta say, I in the first episode, I thought it was all right. I thought maybe, gonna be honest, Danielle, I thought maybe you overrated it a little bit.
You think so?
I thought so.
I saw a lot of promise.
I saw promise, but like I saw promise for the future and not in what was there necessarily.
I see. I see.
But the second episode has really won me over, and as I've started to learn more about the world, I'm very much drawn in. So I'm in. I'm looking forward to playing the rest and seeing what they do.
As am I.
So
I'm quite intrigued.
I definitely recommend people check it out. I will have a review up of the third episode and some of the changes that are in the remastered version very soon. So look for that on the site. Thanks for joining me, Danielle.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This is really fun to revisit this game that I've been enjoying so much.
And thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.